Hey everyone, I'm live. I think I'm live. I hope I'm live. I have to wait and see if you guys start commenting to see if I'm actually live and if you can hear me. Hi. I'm going to give you guys a minute to all sort of pop in. Hi. Okay, I'm going to use my phone too just to make sure because this is the first time I'm using my computer for this. Hi, Trisha. Oh, good. Okay, so I can see. Can you hear me? Is the microphone working? I feel like we always do this whenever I get on here. Hi. Hey, Jacques. Hi, guys. Is the microphone working? Is my microphone? Okay, perfect. Hi, Kelly. Okay, yay. So I'm so excited to spend the next hour with you. I know people are going to pop in and out as we go. Hi, Dina. This is going to be super hard because I have an attention problem, so I'm going to be going everywhere. So I'm spending the next hour with you. I'm answering all your questions. I'm answering all questions as it relates to covetousness, any other questions you have about any of my other books, the characters, anything that's going on. The new Havenwood Falls High books are out. We've got Morgan and Callie and Kristen's books coming out soon. So I'll do my best to answer questions you have about those, although I'm not super involved, but I know some of the ladies will pop in and can probably help me answer those questions. Hi, Holly. I hope you guys saw Michelle G. Miller's cover today. We had a cover release, so I hope you guys all got a chance to, hi, Sean, see her beautiful cover. It's so pretty. If you haven't, I know it's somewhere in the group here, so if you haven't, I'll try to post it on my stuff later too. Wasn't it beautiful? Jacques is saying it's beautiful. It's so pretty. All the covers are gorgeous. Regina Wamba's doing an amazing job, but Michelle had her big reveal today, and it's so pretty, so pretty. Hi. All right, so I'm going to start taking questions so that I'm not sitting here and just rambling like a bubbling idiot for the next hour, which I'll probably do anyway because that's how I work. Okay, so first question, how about the title and how it came about? Okay, so this is the funniest thing. I was actually talking to Jacques about this at PenCon. This is the most beautiful title on paper, and it is the worst title to pronounce because nobody knows how to pronounce it, including myself. So the title Covetousness is obviously to covet something means to want something that isn't yours. And so this book, the theme of this book is really, I'm going to try to watch what I say very carefully. The theme of this book is really about characters who are uncovering secrets, and those secrets are surrounded by the desire to have things that are not necessarily theirs. So the title Covetousness is really, it just stems from to covet something, to really want it to be your own. So that's the theme throughout the book, and that's why we titled it that way. But I understand nobody can pronounce it, so, you know, it's fine. I can't pronounce it either. Right, Jacques laughing because we were talking about this at PenCon. Hi, Christine. Hi, guys. So I'm here to answer any other questions you guys have. So totally ask away. I know some of you who have read some of my other books probably have questions as it relates to this book. So I will do my best to answer any crossover questions that you may have, any additional questions that you want to know from this. I know you all are anxious for Knox. Have I started the next video project? Oh, okay. So Jacques was asking about the video project. So I don't know if all of you have seen, we just released for my I have two series, the Revelation series and then the spin-off series, which is the Royal Protector Academy series. There's a book, a final book that will end that whole 9-book chapter of that. It's called Dark Paradise, and it's releasing in November, and we just did a music video / book trailer for it, and we released that. We haven't started the second video project yet, but we are going to be starting it right after Knox releases, which is in November. So you can probably expect that sometime after Knox releases. Sean wants to know how I ended up becoming a Havenwood Falls author. I had to pay Christy Cook $2 million, and then I had to sign my name in blood, and then I had to promise to write at least 3 books in the series before she said yes. And then I had to give her tacos. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I talked to Christy. We had talked about it. She had, approached and talked to some authors who she thought might be interested in doing it. And when I had heard about the Shared World project and I had heard about some of the other amazing authors who were going to be part of it, I totally jumped on board and did not have to give a blood oath, but I'm really glad I am part of it. I think it's an amazing group of authors. I think it's a really great project. Christy's amazing and super fun to work with, and it's been a learning experience. It's been a growing experience for my writing, and it's just been it's like summer camp. I keep saying it's like summer camp for authors because everybody's so sweet and it's been super fun. Super fun. Okay, so I'm trying to keep up with the questions. Hold on. Who's been my favorite character that I've written? In Havenwood Falls or just in general? In Havenwood Falls, I think in my Havenwood Falls book, my favorite character is Callie. And you're going to hear more about her story in August. Her and Rowan, their story, no, Ronan. Her and Ronan's story will be released in August. She's probably my favorite character. You know, she's a gypsy demon, so she's really cool and fun and bohemian, and she's got a great vibe to her. So she's my favorite in Havenwood Falls. Dina wants to know, so are we going to be left hanging with how the book ended, or will I release a novella for Asher and Eve? Oh, I think you want okay. So for those of you who have read the Revelation series and the Royal Protector Academy, I know this question keeps coming up, and I've avoided answering it. There is a plot twist in Covetousness that will affect a storyline in my Revelation series. And I know a lot of you want to know if that's going to get pulled over and if that's going to get explained. So that plot twist that you're talking about in Covetousness, which I don't want to go into detail for those who haven't yet read it, will show up in Dark Paradise, which is Gage's story next November when that book releases. The plot twist will be explained, and it will be explained how it relates to the characters in the Revelation series. So that's where you'll get the information on that. I'm trying to think of what else. I know that was the first time I announced it. It's so exciting. Christine's like, I didn't know that. So that will be, yes. So the plot twist will sort of transfer over to that. I know, it's a while, but it takes me a while to come up with these things. It takes a while for me to write them and figure out how everything works together. How old is Grayson? So Grayson is, she's 23, almost 24. She's about a year or two out of college. She just graduated from design school. So she's sort of, she's not full adult mode yet. She had spent 4 years at college in Rhode Island for interior design, and she sort of just came out of college, and she's about, she's still figuring life out and sort of figuring out who she is. So she's 23 and a half. She's almost 24. Trying to think, trying to see what else I'm trying to keep up. Will any of my Havenwood Falls character or Havenwood High characters show up in someone else's book? I do believe so. So in Covetousness, there are a lot of characters who aren't characters that I created, but are shared world characters, meaning that other authors created them. One of those characters is Ada. I know a lot of you have been emailing me and messaging me about Roman and Ada and their relationship. Hi, Christy. Roman will be showing up in other books. I know Roman will be in Kristen Yard's young adult book, which is coming out, I think, next month or in a couple weeks. So I know he'll be there. I know some of the other characters will be coming in and will be in other books. As for the main characters, Everett and Grayson will be making a guest appearance in Callie and Ronan's story in August. They will also be making a guest appearance in Juliana and Rowan's story in February, which is my first young adult Havenwood High book. And then Everett will actually be making a guest appearance in Dark Paradise, which is not a Havenwood Falls High book, but it is, his presence will be there when that. Hey, Kristen, I was just talking about Ada. I don't know if she caught on to that. So I do believe some of my characters, there'll be some crossover. I think in Michelle Jean Miller's book too, I think she makes reference to Everett and Grayson as well. So they'll be popping up and coming in. Hi, Mindy. Oh, it was so nice meeting you too last week. We had so much fun at PenCon. I'm so glad you were there. Kristen wants Everett to make a guest appearance at her house. He's willing to come. He's willing to come to your house. I should have clarified that. So hi, Amy. So that's it. So yeah, so those characters will be making appearances and coming in. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read at the same time. It's very discombobulating. You guys are so good. Hi. Hi, Chantella. Hi, Christine. Hi, Carrie. Sorry, my dog. Sorry. I'm at home. Coco. I think there might be a gift. Oh, did I lose all the questions? Hold on. I'm trying to go up to, I don't know how to do that. Okay, so now you can just watch me talking for myself. I don't know. So that's really it. That's the scheme of things. I know you guys have questions, but there's a delay. So I guess I could just ramble until I get my questions. The questions going. There's a question here about. Sorry, I'm going to just go down because this is stuck. What other ideas did I get from my daughter in my young adult books? Okay, so for those of you who are new to me, I write new adult. I write paranormal romance, but it's usually new adult. So I have a 9-year-old little girl, and she's always upset because she can't read my books because they're not appropriate for her. So she asked if I could write a young adult book for her so she could actually read something that I wrote. So I allowed her to name the characters. So in Amorata, which is my first young adult book ever, which is releasing in February for Havenwood Falls, my daughter Madison named the characters, and she, the female lead character Juliana, Madison picked her hair color and her eye color, which she tends to like to do. And then she also sort of helped me decide what the supernatural powers were going to be for each. So those are things that she helped me out on, and she's really excited because she thinks that she gets to be part of it. And it's fun to be able to do this with her. So those are some things that Maddie's been involved in. How many F-bombs have I had to delete from my young adult? I do write a lot of F-bombs, which I don't use in real life, which is very funny. I've been really, really good about not using F-bombs in my young adult. So I haven't written any, and every time I get the urge to write one, when I write, I just use Michelle G. Miller's douche canoe word instead. So that's it. I'm good. Hi, Nicole. Thank you. Oh, you guys are so sweet. So my computer froze, so I'm having to use my phone and my computer at the same time. What other questions? Self-control. Yes, self-control. I use the F-bombs so much in my, so many times in my book, and I hadn't realized I was doing it until my copy editor, Liz, sent me an F-bomb statue. It's actually a bomb with an F on it for my desk. It's a paperweight. And at that point, I realized that she has probably deleted over 200 F-bombs from one manuscript. So it's something I have to learn how to do. How clean is my young adult book compared to my new adult book? So my young adult book is clean. My new adult books are for 18 plus. So there are some language, mild sexual scenes, things of that nature. Maybe not mild, but there are some scenes against walls. My young adult will be clean, so there'll be no language, and most of it will be fade. So I'm trying to be good. It's a learning curve for me. I write the schmexy, but I'm trying not to do that in my young adult. I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible. And I'm sure anything that I don't pick up, Liz or Christy will pick up and delete for me. Maybe. Okay. I'm trying to go. When will the paperbacks be available? So the paperbacks will be available. So how Angor is publishing the paperbacks are they're in sets of 3, so that they're a significant book. So you will have 3 books in one. So I think for the new adult, my book is the first, and then Christy and TV are releasing one, and then Lila Felix is releasing one. So I think our paperback, and Christy can confirm this, is due out in December. So this, I know the first 3 books are in paperback. The next 3 books, I do believe, are publishing in December. I hope that's right. If it's not correct, I'll let you know, but I think in December. Is there a reference to past characters in Covetousness? What will make an appearance? Okay, so I'm sure someone has asked this, but there was a reference to past characters in Covetousness. Will others make an appearance in future Havenwood books? Okay, so if you've read my Revelation series and you read Covetousness, you'll notice that there is some crossover between the Revelation series. Some of the characters were touched upon in Covetousness, like Gage Gallagher and Asher St. Michael. Those characters will not be touched upon in my future Havenwood Falls books, but Everett will be making an appearance in Dark Paradise. But that was the only Havenwood Falls book. You will see the references to Gage and Camilla and Asher. What gave me the idea for the Phoenix of Everett's clan? So Everett is, each of my clans for this particular grouping of supernatural creatures come from different parts of the world. And what I've tried to do is match their tattoos with statues, gargoyle statues that are popular in that particular area for architectural purposes. And in Barcelona, the Phoenix is a really popular statue to put on churches and in the Gothic quarters. So that's why, because Everett is from that Barcelona area, I picked the Phoenix for him. So that's kind of what I did. And Christy's confirming December. So the second paperback book will be available in December. I think Sean asked me that. What signing event can we expect to see you at in 2018 to purchase the paperback signed? So I will be, in 2018, I will be in, I'm so bad with months and dates. In April, I will be signing in Boston at Talkbook Author, which I think I should have some paperback copies by that time. In August, I will be at Once Upon a Book signing, and I definitely expect to have paperback copies there for signings. And then in September of 2008, I'll be at PenCon again. And I should definitely have paperbacks by then. I know a lot of you guys who came by my table at PenCon this year were looking for the paperbacks, and we just didn't have it. They're coming out in December, but those 3 events I'm hoping to have paperbacks for. So, yay for Gage's book. Yay, Gage. More Gage, because that's what we all need, is more Gage Gallagher. You'll see me. Oh, good. Oh, Chantel, I'll see you at. Oh, good, at Authors. So come by then, because then I should have the paperbacks and can sign it for you. You're stalking. Christy, you're so funny. She's stalking me. All right, let me go down. I'm going to talk. Oh, Sean's going to talk books. Great. Oh, that'll be so good. I'll get to see you there again. Yay. It should be fun. We should have, and Mindy's going to see me at PenCon, so that's exciting. So then you guys, I should have books. I should have books at all of those places with me. So let me just go down and see if I can find some more. Hi, Lisa. I have like 2 things going on here at once. I'm just trying to find some questions to answer for you. Do you have any plans for other series? Oh, thank you, Madeline. I do. So I'm finishing out the Revelation and Royal Protector Academy series shortly. I have the final book in the Royal Protector Academy series is releasing in November. So that will be the final 3 books in that. The Revelation series is finished, and then Dark Paradise is the last book within that whole world, and that's releasing in November. I have another series called the Dark Soul series. The first book is out, Stolas. That is a completely different series that has nothing to do with the Revelation or the Royal Protector Academy series. That is it's also new adult paranormal, but it's a little bit darker and a little bit more gritty than the Royal Protector Academy or Revelation series. I have 2 more books within the Havenwood Falls, Havenwood Fall High, and then Havenwood. And then I have a young adult series coming out, and I believe the first book drops in 2019. And that's called the Nitrous series. And that will be a young adult romance series about a young woman who's 17 named Greer, who wants to be a knight in times where knights were only boys and men, and it's her dream to become the first knightress, and she ends up protecting the prince. So it's a little bit of a different spin on that. So right now that's kind of where my book schedule is going. Am I planning to do a book tour for Dark Paradise? By book tour, I mean, I'm going to be doing some signings. I don't have a specific book tour planned, like a book signing specifically yet at this moment for Dark Paradise. But when I do get some signing bookstores and some signing things for that, I will let you know. But as of right now, because of my publishing schedule is so tight, I try not to travel too much also during the school year, because I do have a 9-year-old and she's in school. So as of right now, the only 3 signings I'll be at for the book tours are Book Talk in April, Once Upon a Book in August, and then PenCon again in September. But if I add any more signing dates or anything else, I'll let you know. Oh, thanks, guys. Oh, I'm so glad there's some people who read it and love Stolas. You know, Stolas The Dark Souls is probably one of my favorite. Not that I have favorites, but if I had a favorite, it would be one of my favorite books that I've written. What am I reading right now? I'm reading I'm trying to read Eric Asher's steampunk. I'm trying to learn about steampunk because I've never read steampunk before, and he was kind enough to sign a book at PenCon to me. So I've gotten like 4 pages in. So I'm trying to read that. I'm trying to get into steampunk and learn a little bit more about it, especially because I know he's writing for the historical line here in Havenwood, and I know he's going to be bringing steampunk into that. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Oh, I'm so glad. It is a lot of projects. I have a lot of writing projects coming up, but it's all good, and I feel blessed to be able to do it. So I'm excited to close out some series, and then I'm excited to open up some new series for everybody as well. So I know it's I don't know if it's stuck again, but I know you guys have been messaging me. So I know some of the questions that you've been messaging me. I know a lot of you have asked me, and Kristen, I don't know if you're still on, but a lot of people have been asking me if Ada and Roman from Havenwood, from Covetousness, are going to be in their own story. I know you guys are really intrigued with Ada and Roman. So, hi. Oh, there's Kristen. So a lot of people are asking us if we're going to do an Ada and Roman story. I know that that's something that Kristen and I have talked about. We both have pretty heavy writing schedules, so it won't be for a while, but I know we've sort of talked about it a little bit, and then we have to run it by Christy and see if she approves. I don't know if she's a big fan of Roman and Ada, so we'll have to see if we can do that. But I know a lot of you, I've gotten I think over 50 messages about the two of them. I know that Roman and Ada will be appearing in Kristen Yard's young adult story, so you're gonna wanna check that out. Oh, Kristen wants me to let you know that Ada isn't. So Ada is actually Kristen Yard's character, and is my character. And Ada isn't talking to Roman at the moment, so we'll have to see how that goes. They are very evil together. They like to play together. Kristen Yard and I like to be very devious and evil together, and I'm not sure if the world is ready for an entire book about Roman and Ada. The bonds, Christy has the bond scene stuck in her head. That was a good scene, I thought, up until Ada and Roman ruined it. I don't know. Of all my future projects, which one, if any, is calling out to you the most, and why? I'm really excited to sort of dip my toe into the young adult. I'm excited to write in a Marata for Havenwood. I'm excited to put out a young adult book. So that's it. Dark Souls right now is really something that outside of Havenwood, that really has my heart. So I'm excited to release the last two books in the Dark Souls series, which is Visago and then Leviathan. And then I'm excited to start the Nitrous series. I love the Revelation series, and I love the Royal Protector Academy series. And I know it's sad and hard to close that chapter, but I'm kind of excited to explore other things and bring you guys other stories and see what else I can come up with in my crazy head. So we're excited. Yeah, Kristen's saying that our messenger messages have us on some sort of watch list. You guys have no idea the deviousness that Roman and Ada have planned for Havenwood Falls and the quiet, beautiful little town of Havenwood Falls. We're quite devious together. Oh, you guys. Joe's saying that Roman and Ada totally ruined the bonfire scene. Yeah, I know. Hi, Michelle. Can't you write them all in perpetuate? I wish I could, Liz. I wish I could just write everything like that, but I can't. If I could choose one of my stories to bring to the screen in a movie, which would I choose? Oh, this is a hard question. I don't know. It's weird, it's one of those weird things. I think we all sometimes sort of hope that we can see our stuff on the screen and it would be neat and cool. And at the same time, it's kind of scary. When we did the music video and I saw some of the Revelation series characters on screen, it was really, I know it sounds weird, but it was a little jarring. So I don't know. I think the Revelation series would lend itself to be put on screen really well. I think the Royal Protector Academy is another book series that might transition over nicely. But right now I'm sort of just focused on trying to get books done and working on other stories and stuff. So we'll have to see how that all works out. But if I had to pick one, it would probably be the Revelation series. Maybe. Or maybe Dark Soul. I don't know. maybe Havenwood Falls. I think they should all be on TV. I think it would be really cool to see Havenwood Falls on TV. I think it would be really neat to see. It's like writing a different episode every week. So I feel like I feel like the Havenwood Falls in a way lends itself really, really well to being on TV as well. You guys all want to see Asher on screen. Yeah, well, he's cute. I think he'd make a good screen character. Although I don't know, I do like the F-bomb. I'm not so sure that they'll allow me to swear as much on television. We'll have to see. Stolas would be amazing on screen. Stolas would be, it's a little darker though, so I'm not sure. That would have to maybe be more of a Fox or a Netflix original where I can get away with certain things. I don't know, HBO. My books are very sexy and have a lot of language, so I have to find the right network to do that. Let's see. HBO, yeah, well, definitely HBO, Showtime, that kind of stuff. Just to see when she enters into the penthouse. Oh, for Stolas. Joe says that I should go to Netflix because then I can drop all the F-bombs I want. This is a very good Q&A. He's probably cringing right now. Yes, well, hopefully, you never know what's coming down the pike, and hopefully we'll be able to do all of that someday soon. All right, so one of the things, while we have a little bit of lull in the questions, I have a giveaway. So I wanted to do a really fun giveaway, and I have some fun signed stuff in this bag right here. It's literally full of signed stuff from PenCon, signed swag, and there's all sorts of goodies in here. There's books in here. Let me see what else I can feel. There's bracelets in here. Oh, look, there's a little, look what is in here. I don't know if you guys can see this. Little gargoyle statues in here. So I have this whole thing. So I think that I'll pick one winner live on air while we're doing this. So if you guys can tell me which of the young adult, there's 3 new young adult books coming out in the next couple months. If you can tell me which one you're most looking forward to, I will randomly pick one of the young adult answers. That would be super cool. And then, so just tell me like which of the 3 young adult books you're most excited about reading. And then from those answers, I'll just randomly pick somebody. Okay, Christine, that's not it. That's actually my book. That's not going to be young adult. So that's going to have some F-bombs in it. Next week. Oh, so okay. Christy's saying that they're all coming out next week. All 3 of them at once? That's awesome. Yay. So I'm glad that you guys are loving the Havenwood Falls. Do you have any questions about Havenwood Falls or anything that happened in the book? I know a lot of you have been asking if I'm going to continue to write Grayson and Everett's story. Everett, like I said, Everett will be appearing in the next 2 Havenwood Falls, as will Grayson, as guest appearances. And then Everett will be appearing in Dark Paradise, which is a non-Havenwood Falls book. But I don't necessarily have any plans to write another specific Everett and Grayson book. So, oh, you guys are all excited. Written in the Stars, Reawaken, Awaken the Soul. It's exciting. I'm excited. I hope you're excited for the young adult ones. Oh, good. You guys are reading the arcs. I'm so excited. I'm going to try to see. Oh, you want more Everett and Grayson. They'll be making guest appearances. Written in the Stars. I'm trying to think of what other questions you guys have been asking me over the past couple weeks. Oh, a lot of you wanted to know if I had any plans to write anything more about Jenny and her backstory. And I don't. So Jenny appeared in Covetousness. And even if I explored Roman's story further, she would probably only make a guest appearance. She wouldn't have a full a full book or a full story to herself. I know it's a tough choice. You can say all of them. It gives you 3 chances to enter, because then your name comes up 3 times. Okay, I'm just gonna try to see if I can figure out if you have any other questions in between. This is so hard. Do I keep notebooks with the photos of each character's looks and personalities? So I have vision boards when I write in my office, on my walls, and those vision boards contain photos of the characters. I also am an author who writes character backgrounds and bios. So before I start a book, I will write maybe a 2 or 3 page detailed outline of each character, their physical appearances, as well as their personality traits, any quirks they have, because I sort of like to hide those things in the story when I'm writing about the characters. And I have all of those on vision boards. The Havenwood Falls authors have, we have a group that we talk in so that we can bounce ideas off of each other. We have vision boards in there. We all use visions for the town and things, just so that we're all on the same page. So it is one great big vision board. But I do use vision boards, and I do use character bios for everything that I do. I do, yes, and we use Pinterest. We do all of that on Pinterest. Laura, oh, thank you. Laura likes my vision boards. Thank you. Sometimes I share my vision boards. I've been doing that. Once my series are done, I tend to do it. I don't like to do it when my series are out, because I don't necessarily want to direct how you read or view a character. But after the stories are released, I tend to, in my Rebel group, I tend to share the vision boards. Madeline would like to see the vision boards for the Revelation series. So those are out. I've released them. I can't remember. Maybe I just did it in the Rebel group, but I did release, you know what, I might have done it on my author page too. So if you check my author page on Facebook, if you scroll through some of the photos, I might have released my vision boards in there as well for the Revelation series, so that you can see. There is a vision board for Havenwood Falls. There's a group vision board, as well as each author sometimes has their own individual. Okay, so I know Eli Hewitt is supposed to be at Talk Books. Any possibility he'll be at other signings? So Eli is the cover model for my Dark Soul series. He's on the Stolas cover. And I know that a lot of you have reached out to me because you like Eli. He is coming with me to Talk Books. He will not be at Once Upon a Book, and I don't know yet. I'm not sure if he's going to come with me to PenCon or not, but he will definitely be here in Boston with me at Talk Books, and he can sign your books and say hi, and you can have him read you passages when you come up to the table, because he does have an amazing voice and should definitely be doing audio. He's very sweet, and he's very excited to meet you all. So, has there ever been a character that you had a challenging time writing about? So, yes. Gage Gallagher has probably been the hardest character I've written across all my books. And ironically enough, he's the one who has brought the most to my writing world. But he's hard. He's a character that's very layered, and he's a character that's very, there's a lot of loss and sort of darkness to him that I don't necessarily experience day to day. So it's hard to bring that into the character. But Gage Gallagher is probably the hardest character I've ever had to write. Okay. So Grayson, okay, so I'm getting asked how Grayson came to be. So this is actually, those of you who are in my Rebel group, I have a faux boyfriend who I adore. He's adorable. and he's my pretend boyfriend. And so I wrote Grayson as if I were personally ever bumping into or meeting my faux boyfriend. So she's a little bumbly, she's a little rambly, she's probably the most like me. She's probably the most of my characteristics of what I put into a character. But that's sort of how I got her, that's sort of how she became so bumbly and a little self-conscious. So that's sort of how she became Grayson. And there's a couple of questions. Did I mirror Everett after anybody? No. I didn't. I try not to put personal people into my characters. I just, I try to make up characters, and I may pull certain traits from certain people that I know, but I try not to mirror my characters after anybody I know in real life. I think really the only Tristan from my Royal Protector Academy has a lot of traits of somebody I once knew, and Grayson has a lot of my own personal quirks and traits. Other than that, most of my characters aren't done after somebody. Who is my absolute favorite author? Oh God, I like them all. I love all authors. I can't pick a favorite. That's like asking me to pick a favorite child. I personally will always go to, for my reading pleasures, I will always read Stacey Marie Brown. I love Kylie Scott. I love Jay Cronover. Those are some contemporary authors who I personally will read over and over again. But I love reading. I like new authors. I like finding new authors who maybe aren't quite as popular or well-known. I'm just, I'm a reader, so I like to read everybody. Yeah. Has any character had any quirks that I have? Coffee, cookies, pickles. Grayson has my coffee fetish. That's it. I think maybe McKenna from the Revelation series has a little bit of my snip. So when I get snippy, McKenna tends to be a little bit randy. She likes to state the obvious and point out your flaws, and sometimes I can be accused of doing that. But of all my characters, I think Grayson probably has the most of my quirks and is most like me, I think. Do I have a degree in architecture? Oh, thank you. I don't have a degree in architecture. I minored in it in college, and it was a fluke that I minored in it because I had taken some courses, some architecture courses. I was not a fan of history, and the college that I went to, I was a communications major, and I was required to take 2 history courses, and I wasn't a fan of history at all. And so to get around that, I took the history of architecture, which qualified for my history courses, but it was about architecture and design, which I really loved. And I took 2 of those classes, and I fell in love with it so much that I had taken so many credits that I actually had a minor in architecture by the end of it. But I didn't set out to major in architecture or even minor in it. I just had so many credits because I had taken so many architecture courses. But I think that's why you see in a lot of my books, you'll see a lot of architectural elements, you'll see a lot of interior design elements, you'll see a lot of references to Gothic architecture, which happened to have been one of my favorites in college when I studied. So those elements that you feel are cleanly brought into it, it's because of my background in that. So, how much do I read? It depends. If I have a deadline, it's such a struggle. There are months where I could read, like 3 or 4 books a week. And there are months where I'm writing and I'm on deadline where I'm lucky if I get to read 1 book. So I'm in that situation right now where I'm trying to read, but I'm also trying to finish some books. So I just read Amy Miles Jasper on the plane to PenCon, and that was literally the first book I was able to sit down and read full on for, I guess, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm kind of going through a dry spell, but it depends. Do I have a favorite character? A favorite character from any of my books? So I have a couple of favorite characters. I have a favorite character from the Revelation series, which is Kenna. I love my character Kenna. I have a favorite character from Havenwood Falls, which is Callie. I have a favorite character from Dark Souls, which is Stone. From other people's books, I have like 1,000 favorite characters. So we'd be here all night if I had to tell you everyone. Ooh, Chantel has a communications major. Yay. You think I'd be better at speaking too, having been a communications major, and I'd be like less awkward socially, but it's not the case. It's strange. Ooh, you guys are all reading Jasper. It's so good. So good and so blush worthy. And Amy was asking me if I really read it on the plane because she was wondering if I had strangers staring at me. But I was sitting next to my husband and my girlfriend, who had both joined me at PenCon, so it wasn't as bad. But if I had strangers, I would have been blushy. Who would be my book boyfriend? So my first book boyfriend and my forever book boyfriend is Kellen Kyle from S.E. Stevens' Thoughtless series. He is my real book boy. He was my first book boyfriend. Nobody's really measured up to him. I think Mal Erickson from Kylie Scott's play is a close second, but Kellen Kyle is definitely my book boyfriend. We know you have a real life faux boyfriend. Do I have a favorite fictional boyfriend? Kellen Kyle. He would be my fictional. He is my forever book boyfriend. Yeah. And S.E. Stevens is going to be at Talk Books. And I'm going to have her sign my book, and I'm going to try to be a grown up and not drool all over her. We'll see how that goes. So that's it. I'm trying to think of what other questions you guys have. Oh, the question, how did we come up with the purple pig and plate painting in the park? So as you guys, if you've read Havenwood Falls, you know that there are a lot of festivals, and there are a lot of festivals coming down the pike. And the purple pig really came from, I think the purple pig was actually, the purple pig part of it, I think, is actually Christy Cook. So I really can't take credit for that. But a lot of us are huge Gilmore Girl fans, and they do all these like weird, I don't know if you guys watch Gilmore Girls, but do you remember they did this like life painting where they all dressed up and painted themselves as like real life characters from paintings, like The Last Supper, and then they had to stay on stage as those paintings and stay still. So it really stemmed from our love of that scene, and so we folded it into the plates and painting the plates. The purple pig was really, you know, it's a supernatural world, so there, of course, there needs to be some horrible reason that the pig died. So that was something that we folded in. But we came up with the backstory about the witch and how, you know, her pig sadly passed away. If you've read the book, or if you haven't read the book, I don't want to ruin it too bad, but it was a very sad demise of the pig. But the pig lives on, so it'll be good. Do you have a certain spot or place where you like to read? I'm one of those people who reads anywhere. I don't have a particular spot that I always go to. I have a favorite chair in my house, in my living room. We call it the no-no chair, which nobody's allowed to sit in, but everybody, including the dog, does. But I can read anywhere, and I like to read anywhere. So I don't have a particular favorite spot to read. Wherever I can get 5 minutes of quiet time in my house to read is where I read. Usually in front of the laundry when I'm trying to fold clothes and have the dog running around the house and my kid yelling she can't find something and my husband putting dishes away in the wrong cabinets, and that's where I tend to read, standing up. Oh, I'm glad you guys like the purple pig. Yeah. So it was a fun thing. It was a fun thing to do. I came up with the backstory. Christy came up with the purple pig, and we sort of ran with it. And it's so cute. It's a cute, fun thing. Where do I write? So I write in my office, and I don't let anybody into my office. So I have this really quirky thing. I'm all about energies, and this is the part where I sound crazy, but I have an office where nobody's allowed in, because I feel like if somebody comes into my office, it ruins the energy and it ruins the way I can think and the way I have it set up in a creative way, and I just don't want people touching anything in there. So that's where I tend to write. I can't write. I know a lot of authors will write at Starbucks or write at their kids' sports. I can't, because I get distracted very easily. Those of you who know me know that I ramble, and a butterfly flies by and I'm like, oh, look at the butterfly. So I can't write in those places just because it's too distracting. So I need a quiet room where there's like literally nothing going on and I'm locked away, so that I can focus and do things. Because if there's music on or if there's a TV on, I'm gone, and then I won't be in my own head. Will Coco make a guest appearance in one of my books? So Coco's our 1.5-year-old King Charles Cavalier puppy, and she was the runt of the litter, so she's like half the size of a real dog. She's 7 pounds, so she's like a little teeny puppy. She will not be making a guest appearance in any of my books. She's kind of private, and she doesn't really want her life in any of the books. She likes to keep to herself. She likes to keep her friends and her private life private. So I don't think she'll be making guest appearances. She gets mad when I post her on social media, so I don't think she wants to be in any of the books. Although she'd be a fun puppy for Kaylin. I think Kaylin from the Revelation series would like her. What else? All right, I need to pick a winner while I'm online, because I think we have like 8 minutes left of the so let me just go up and just randomly pick a winner. Ooh. Now you can just stare at me. All right, Allison Landis, Written in the Stars was her pick. So Allison, you're the winner. So you won this PenCon signed swag bag. So if you go to my author page and private message me with your mailing address, I will send that out to you. Okay, let me finish up with some of the questions. Do you set a daily work schedule or a word count you need to meet for the day, and do you outline? So I don't set a certain amount of words that I have to write. I can't function like that as an author. I feel like for me personally, if I'm like, oh, I have to meet 5,000 words today, it's too much pressure. And then what I write ends up being complete crap just because I'm trying to meet my word count. So what I usually do is set a certain amount of hours during the day that I have to write. So I will say I'm usually in my office at 8 a.m. and then I'm usually out around 2 or 3 for school pickup. And then once Maddie's in bed, you usually write again for another 2 or 3 hours before I close up. So I try to write at least 8 hours a day. Some days in that 8 hours, I write 400 words. Some days I write 7,000 words. I'm a pantser writer. I don't really outline, or I have a plot idea. I know where my stories are going to start. I know where they're going to arch, and I know where they're going to end. But I don't necessarily know all the in-betweens until I sit down and start writing the story. So for me, if I have a lot of pressure of deadlines or word counts, or if I put those types of pressures on myself, then I tend not to write well. So that's kind of how I write. But I definitely, Monday through Friday from 8 to 2, and then usually from 9 p.m. to about 11 p.m. So I try to write about 7 to 8 hours a day. And some days are better than others, and some days I get it done, and some days I don't. And I just, I try not to be too hard on myself with that and put too much pressure on myself to make that happen. I don't, so no, I don't do the nano writing mode. I don't do that. I wish I could. It's just, I just don't work well under pressure. I have to just kind of do it at my own pace, and it has to come to me, and I have to be motivated, and I have to, the story has to flow for me. I have to see it visually, and I feel like if I start putting too many restrictions on myself, I'm just not that kind of a writer who can write like that. I also don't do writing sprints for that reason. A lot of times I'm asked to join in a writing sprints, and I would love to do it. But the pressure of like 10 minutes, get as many words as you can do, I literally would probably just sit there and stare at the computer for 10 minutes. Maybe post a cute picture of a hot guy. I mean, like, I just can't. The pressure for me just doesn't work for my writing. So unfortunately, it's just, those aren't things I can participate in and come up with a good story for me. How do I come up with my stories? So that's a good question. I don't know. They come to me. I mean, I could be reading something. I could be walking outside. I could be, I'm moved in different ways. I'm inspired in different ways. This is always a tough question for me to answer because I don't really know how I'm inspired. It just sort of happens. And I know that sounds lame, and I'm not really copping out to answering it. It's just really how it works. I could be doing the dishes, and then a conversation between characters come in my head, or I could be outside walking and the wind blows a certain way and something sort of snaps in my head. So it's just, as crazy as it sounds, anything. I mean, I came up with a plot story at Trader Joe's once when I was grocery shopping. So it's lame, but it's just one of those things where, again, I don't know how it happens. It just sort of, I've been lucky enough that it just sort of happens. Music, I could be listening to music. I could be talking to somebody. It's anytime it happens, it just comes, it pops in. Okay. Oh, thanks, Chantella, for coming. Thank you. Christy's like, we do that during sprints. What, post hot pictures of guys? Well, maybe I should be doing sprints then, because that would be good. So that's it. Do you guys have any other questions about Havenwood Falls, or can I answer anything about anything of that nature? I know time's almost up, but I'm always available to answer questions online. You can go to my author page and ask questions. You can message me. I know a lot of you do message me, and I'm slow to message back because of all the messages I get now, but you can always reach out to me. I'm always available. Readers who've been with me for a long time know that they have full access to me for the most part. So I think that's it. I'm so glad that you guys are loving the Havenwood Falls books. I thank you on behalf of all of us for really embracing this this project. Thank you for reading Covetousness. Thank you for all of your amazing reviews of Covetousness. Nobody can pronounce it. Well, not full access, Christy. I mean, just half access. thank you guys for getting excited about the Havenwood Falls Highline that's coming out. I know those girls are really excited about you reading their books, and they're so good. They're so good. So it's been super fun to hang out with you, and I'm going to say bye, but if you have any questions, leave them, and we'll try to get to them as soon as we can. Thanks, guys. Now you get to watch me try to shut this off.